Quantum's many worlds interpretation originated in the 1950s by Nobel Prize-winning U.S. physicist Hugh Everett. The many worlds interpretation envisions our universe as just one of numerous parallel worlds, and these worlds branch off from one another, nanosecond by nanosecond, without communicating. Quantum mechanics' many worlds interpretation argues that we exist in all of these worlds. We may win the lottery in one and die in another. How many of you are out there? Again, I repeat, how many of you are out there? I'll open a famous quote about quantum mechanics by Richard Feynman. If you think you understand quantum mechanics, then you don't. Recent hit movies Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and Doctor Strange explore the possibility that we exist across a spectrum of worlds. Here's the trailer from the Oscar-winning Best Animated Feature Film, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, brought to us by Sony Pictures and Marvel Entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen,
my name is Miles Morales. I'm the one and only Spider-Man. At least that's what I thought.
You ever hear of the Super Collider? You're gonna love this.
Dimension opening now.
You're like me.
That's impossible.
It's enough. This fry is your universe. It's soggy, it's weird, it's gross. And this delicious normal fry is my universe. So you want to learn to be Spider-Man?
Can you teach me?
Yes, I can. Time to swing. Good, you're doing it. Double tap to release and whip it out again.
Okay.
Whip
And release.
You're a natural. Whip.
Hey guys,
Who are you?
I'm Gwen Stacy. I'm from another dimension.
How many more spider people are there?
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
This could literally not get any weirder.
It can get weirder.
Okay.
We need to get back to our universes soon.
Brooklyn is gonna collapse. My family lives in Brooklyn.
Whoa.
Miles, what's wrong?
This was never your city. It's mine.
If I don't destroy the collider, none of us will have a home to go home to.
Remember, what makes you different
Let's go.
is what makes you Spider-Man.
Officer, I love you.
Wait, what?
That way. Other way.
Do animals talk in this dimension? Because I don't want to freak them out.
Hollywood loves the idea of many parallel universes. It helps them with all of those sequels they need. Many parallel universes sound far-fetched, but the many worlds interpretation is the subject of very serious debate among physicists. So, to begin, we'll watch a cat video, Schrodinger's cat. In 1935, in a discussion with Albert Einstein, Erwin Schrodinger, who was an American physicist, devised his famous thought experiment involving a cat and a box. His thought experiment is designed to illustrate the problems presented by quantum mechanics. Schrodinger's cat, like quantum mechanics, proposes that when we observe a system, we force it to make a choice. Here is Schrodinger's cat, brought to us by YouTube's Minute Physics.
This wouldn't be a YouTube channel without a cat video, so without further ado, we present Schrodinger's cat. I'm sure you've heard some version of this famous thought experiment. You put a cat in a bunker with some unstable gunpowder that has a 50% chance of blowing up in the next minute, and a 50% chance of doing nothing. The gunpowder is Einstein's version. Schrodinger preferred poisonous gas. But whatever. So until we look in the bunker, we don't know whether the cat is dead or alive. And when we do look, it is either dead or alive. So if we repeat the experiment enough times with enough cats and bunkers and gunpowder, we'll see that half the time, Kitty survives, and half the time, Kitty goes bye-bye. The quantum mechanical interpretation is that before we look, the cat is in a superposition. It's both dead and alive. And our act of looking forces nature's decision. So our curiosity kills the cat. But what about the cat's perspective? Well, the cat either sees the gunpowder explode or not. So inside the bunker, we actually have these two possibilities. the powder explodes and the cat sees it explode, or the powder doesn't explode and the cat doesn't see it explode. There's no option, the powder explodes and the cat doesn't see it explode. So the cat's reality becomes entangled with the outcome of the experiment, and it's our observation of the experiment that forces nature to collapse to one option or the other. But we're like the cat too. Either the cat dies and we see it dead, or the cat lives and we see it alive. So who's observing us to force nature to collapse to one reality? Or do both possibilities happen in parallel within a larger multiverse? This collapsing to one reality problem is one of the biggest unanswered questions in quantum physics. So for Kitty's sake, can I has answer, please?
So, in quantum mechanics, the cat can be alive or dead, and the outcome is only determined when we observe the cat. Our curiosity can kill the cat, and one outcome is not an absolute over another outcome. This suggests a parallel universe may exist in which both possibilities may occur. Now, take a breath, relax your mind, and guess what? We're also like the cat in the box, and that opens up the question of who is observing us. Who is observing us to force nature to collapse into one reality? Is it God? Will quantum mechanics ultimately prove the existence of God? Sean Carroll, a theoretical physicist at the California Institute of Technology, says that we do not know whether the number of multiverses is finite or infinite, but it's certainly more than 5. So, imagine that the cosmos is infinite and that the universe we can see is just one of many other same-size universes that add together to make a multiverse. This is the many worlds interpretation in quantum mechanics. So, every time a physical particle, such as an electron, has multiple options, it takes them, all each in a newly spawned universe. Wow! Let's watch this clip from YouTube's Science and Cocktails with Sean Carroll. Here he discusses the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics and why it's the most straightforward interpretation of the theory about the universe. He believes there's more than one of you out there.
So this idea of the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, it's crucially important to emphasize. It wasn't invented by starting with quantum mechanics and adding many worlds. It was invented by starting with quantum mechanics and removing some of the weird, bizarre, ad hoc rules that people had invented for dealing with measurement. The many worlds interpretation is simply the idea that the Schrodinger equation is all you need. The same way that quantum systems evolve when you're not looking at them is how they evolve when you are looking at them. That's all you need. The theory naturally predicts the existence of many worlds. So the people like me really do believe that that is how things work, at least until someone comes up with a better theory. But it's a perfectly good theory already, so I'm very skeptical that anyone is going to come up with a better theory. And what that means is that you can do a quantum measurement, let's just say of an electron spinning. Forget about whether it is located here or there. It's spinning clockwise or counterclockwise. There's only two choices, okay? So you measure it, and the many worlds theory says there are two worlds now. A world in which the electron was moving clockwise and one in which was moving counterclockwise. So if you decided ahead of time that if the electron was going clockwise, you would do one thing, and if the electron was going counterclockwise, you would do the other thing, there are now two worlds in which you did those two separate things. You made a choice, right? You asked your loved one to marry you, or you didn't ask them to marry you. And you could live very different lives in these two different worlds. The sad part is you can never talk to each other. The worlds are truly separate. They can't interact. There's no phone between these two different parallel worlds. There's a common question, right? How often does the universe branch? Sadly, the answer is it's not really a good question. The short answer is we don't know. Okay, that's a perfectly fair answer. But the better answer is it depends. It depends on features of physics that we don't know. For example, we don't know whether the universe contains a finite or an infinite number of quantum mechanical degrees of freedom. And when you put it that way, how should we know that, right? That sounds like something we don't have the right to know. We can't see the whole universe. There's plenty about the universe we don't understand. But if the universe has an infinite number of degrees of freedom, then there are an infinite number of separate quantum worlds. And it's literally happening all the time that one world is branching into an infinite number. But infinity times infinity is still infinity. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing you should think about is the fraction of worlds that look one way versus the fraction that look another way, rather than counting the absolute number of worlds. On the other hand, if there are only a finite number of quantum degrees of freedom in the universe, then there are only a finite number of worlds. And that means you can count them. And we still don't know how many there are, but it's a very, very big number. So for example, you can think about in your body, there's radioactivity. There's atomic nuclei decaying inside your body. About 5,000 times per second, there's a radioactive decay. Every one of those decays branches the universe in two, okay? So per second, your body is creating 2 to the power 5,000 different parallel worlds. That is a very, very big number.
I'll say that again. He believes that there's more than one of you out there. So, per second, your body is creating 2 to the power of 5,000 different parallel worlds. Wow, what do you believe? According to the many worlds interpretation, the universe is constantly dividing and expanding and taking you with it.
He's been depressed. All of a sudden, he can't do anything.
Why are you depressed, Alvy?
Tell Dr. Flicker. It's something he read.
Something you read, huh?
The universe is expanding.
The universe is expanding?
Well, the universe is everything, and if it's expanding, someday it will break apart, and that will be the end of everything.
What is that your business? He stopped doing his homework.
What's the point?
What has the universe got to do with it? You're here in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is not expanding.
It won't be expanding for billions of years yet, Alvy. And we've got to try and enjoy ourselves while we're here, huh?
That clip was from director Woody Allen's 1977 Best Pictures Oscar winner, Annie Hall, produced by United Artists. So, what do you believe? Do you believe that we exist in many universes across a multiverse? Message me in the comments section. I want to know what you believe. I want to know the answers. Please join me for my next show and future shows where I talk about all the things that I wonder about. Conspiracies, fascinations, theories, and the truth. Hence, CFTT TV. My mind just can't stop. And if there are thousands of me across the universe, well then, I imagine many other selves wonder too. Please tell your friends and family to join in for my shows, and be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and the alarm button to be notified of future shows. Thank you so much for watching.